Hello YouTubers. In this video we're going to be discussing and installing BRIDJIT curb ramps on my driveway. I reached out to the folks at BRIDJIT with an odd situation that I have that I think could be valuable for them, for me to post online, and they kindly sent over a set of their BRIDJIT ramps for me to install. Part of the deal is for me to discuss certain things that I felt needed to be discussed, and they had no opposition to me discussing it, which have no bearing on BRIDJIT ramps, but it does have a bearing on you, the homeowner. So, first thing we have to understand before buying BRIDJIT ramps is, what are we trying to resolve? And well, as you can see, my driveway goes down and the road comes down, and it creates this odd ramp or V or whatever you want to call it, gully, that I and others always scrape. And it's about time we resolve that with the BRIDJIT ramps. That's exactly what they're designed to do, and that's exactly what I'm confident they're going to resolve. So once I found the solution, which is BRIDJIT ramps, now I needed to figure out the legality part of this. So I reached out to my local municipality and I asked them who owns what. They own the curb and guttering and the road. I do not. Me putting something on that curb is not my property, so I sought permission. And what they told me, and this is what I recommend to you, is talk to your municipality, understand the laws and rules first. Did I need a permit? In my case, I don't. Did I need some sort of written approval? In my case, I don't. What they told me was they will not have a problem with BRIDJIT ramps as long as it's not a problem or does not become a problem. So you can infer with that what you want. And I inferred, because they did not want to be specific, they did not want to give me bullet point things for me to overcome. They said it will not be a problem if it is not a problem. So that means that I can't have stuff backing up and impacting my neighbor, which I can't see this doing. I can't have downstream problems with my neighbor. I don't want to have visual problems with the neighborhood. I live in a neighborhood, and everybody's not my neighbors, but most everybody's a Karen. Well, they care. So after I got the municipality's approval, I went and talked to my neighbors. Anybody got a problem if I buy these ramps and install them right here? And nobody had a problem. So I found the solution. I know what I'm talking about when I talk to the homeowners and to the city about what I'm planning to install. Then I got the approval from the city, or tacit approval from the city to install them. Now it is up to me to talk to the neighbors to make sure it is not a problem. So now we have everything in place from, I think, my perspective, in order to make the purchase. And before I made the purchase, I reached out to BRIDJIT to see if they would sponsor this video. In most of the videos I've seen online, most of the driveways are flat going out with the curb bouncing down and up. That is not this. My road comes downhill. I am on a curve, not straight, and it's odd. It's odd getting in and out of this. People that don't know can't get in and out of this driveway without explicit, clear instructions. And they are to come down on the left side of the driveway. As close to the left side of the driveway as you can get it. And soon as you feel that the car's starting to go down, kick it to the right. Aim for that neighbor's net mailbox. Kick it to the right. And then you will only limit your problem. That's going to be your best result, is to limit the problem. If you come over here and exit out, you will for surely have a gravel bottom, nasty bottom bumper, unless you have a truck or an SUV. You have to stay to the left. And when entering, let me show you that. When entering the driveway, you cannot hit it head on from that direction. The bounce is going to scrape the car. So people have to come in with the right side of their car as close to the mailbox as possible, angling in one wheel, the right wheel first, cut it up, and the rest will be fine. But that's how you have to enter my driveway, and I have to give those instructions for the last 26 years. I'm tired of it. So, thanks to Bridget, their courtesy of sponsoring this video, which is truly appreciated. My first real sponsor. I encourage you, if you have the funds, they're on sale, I would go get a pair. And just great company, great people to work with. Anyway, let's get the curb ramps down here and go through the installation procedure. So before I do the installation part, I thought I would interrupt this and just show you before and afters. So this will be the before. Let me take a brief moment and mention something about BRIDJIT. They've been in business since 2008. This product carries a 5-year warranty, and it's made in America using recycled tires. I will have mentioned this several times, but that's a big thing for some people. And taking nothing, old tires, and reusing them for a good purpose, that's American ingenuity at its best. So please support the company. Here are the BRIDJIT ramps. These are the parts. There's a left, a center, and a right. We'll unbox them down at the street, but they are about 4 feet tall. So I got the tools that I need. I probably need a hammer. We'll find out. I need a good screwdriver to wedge underneath here, which will pull the bolt up so that we can hammer it. And then on the other side, the piece that this is going to connect to, we'll need to lift up with the screwdriver and get this bolt on it. Because by default, it does not want to back itself out, which is a good design, obviously. So let's get this out of the truck and into the road and put it into position first. Right, the first step is to knock these bolts toward us. Okay, the next thing we want to do is bolt up our units together. So let's do that now. So I wanted to take a moment. I'm going to backtrack on this video because I need to put up front some really important information. I've already recorded the cars coming in and out of the driveway, but I'm going to hold that footage for later because I want to make sure I do this correctly. And so I reached out to Bridget, and the owner of Chad, I got his phone number and I spoke to him. Nice guy. Name is Chad. He was telling me that based on what I had told him, I was doing it wrong. And so I need to put this up front because I don't want you to make the same mistake I did, and I want you to make sure you watch this video and catch this information first. First thing, these bolts should not be any tighter than that. The system is not designed to tighten these together. That's not what it's meant to do. Because as the car hits this, it's going to cause it, the ramps are rubber, and it's going to want to spread that load. And if this is too tight, if that's the case, this thing has nowhere to go. And you can already see I'm getting a crack. That's why I stopped, because something was wrong. And Chad helped me out. And so you want to make sure, his number one recommendation, if you don't take home any other news than this news, don't tighten these up. That's not what they're meant to do. They're meant to hold them together, but not tight. The system wants to be able to maneuver with the curve, right? And it wants to be able to squeeze down, let the car ride on it, and then rebound back up. And that's what this will do. But as you can see, I was doing something wrong, and I wanted to make sure you know this up front. Next thing he told me, another tip and trick here, is don't barrel into your driveway. Just like now, if you got a driveway like that and you are pulling into your driveway, you're careful. You don't want to scrape your car, bottom out the bottom of your car. This does not give you the freedom to not care. You need to take the same methodical approach, slow approach in and out of your driveway as you would normally without BRIDJIT ramps. That's what you want to do. So when you do this, make sure you are very careful about how you approach. Then the last thing is, when you come in and out, it is advised that you come in and out straight on, not at an angle. I'll show you my video in a minute, but you would have seen me come in at an angle, and that's not what they want, because what can happen then is the system can, as you hit it with the angle, you could cause it to shift. And we don't want that. So you want to try to avoid that shifting if possible, and the best way to avoid that is to come in and out straight on. And so we will cover that in the next piece of the video, but I wanted to make sure you knew up front what it takes to do this properly, because I felt like something was wrong. As you can see, I was doing something wrong, and I'm glad I spoke to Bridget. They're there to help you. They want to make sure you are successful, because if you're successful, they are successful. Anyway, let's move on to the next step. Okay, so they are opened just a little bit, fitting the curve pretty good. So let's finesse it this way and that way. All right, the only thing we can do now is pull some cars in and out, and let's look at the before and afters. So now that it's all up and running, all in place, we want to give it some time and let the bottom of the BRIDJIT ramp get roughed up, scuffed up from entry and exit, and that should help hold it in place. So, looking good. This is great. So that's it, YouTuber. This is not a hard job. On the scale of 1 to 10, I would say it's a 1. If you know, first, if you're buying these and you know how to use a 19 millimeter socket or a 19 millimeter wrench, this is a 1. Put it together, tighten it just a little bit, 2 or 3 turns on each side, and flip them back over and enjoy your curb ramps. The process is stupidly easy. It works phenomenally well worth the money. So I encourage you to buy a set and enjoy worry-free entry and exit in your driveway. Gosh, that's, for me, right now, that's priceless. So YouTubers, if you like the video, like the video.